How's it going today over there, man?
I'm doing fine. Had one
Excellent.
race already commentated,
And
but
ready
we
to
are
do
ready
one
to go.
more?
Oh yes,
All
this
right.
match is going to be great and exciting.
Now, what do you say? Let's start this off right, that we are ready to rando?
Oh yes, we must start it off. And now we're going to start off like our normal things. And now, for the hundreds and thousands of Randomizer fans, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes,
Let's
yay.
get ready to rando!
Rando! It seems we've
And we're
already
off.
started, so...
Yeah, I
But,
think everyone knows that.
we'll build this hype just a little bit afterward. Letting the streams catch up a little bit, I guess, here. It looks like Christos is about 12, 13 seconds ahead of GLS's broadcast at this point, but I'm sure that'll get synced up. Hello, everybody on Speed Gaming. I'm in the name of DT. It's good to be back here with you guys, along with my good buddy Hiei.
Hello, everybody.
Got a very exciting matchup today.
And looks like Christos already picked up bombs here, and see if GLS has the same feature.
Fantastic to get so early. I think it was from the chest, so
Oh yes,
pretty much a guaranteed 3. As many of you may know at this point, coming into the randomizer, it's very important to get bombs, or preferably even boots, in the escape process because of one tricky room at the very end. You don't want to have to come back here.
Oh yes, no one wants to come back here because then you would have to get the glove as well.
It seems our timers are nice and synced now, so we'll be moving on through. Of course, normal points here during the escape process. It's fairly routine, a few chests along the way to pick up. A couple of standard enemies that our runners are going to be more than familiar with dealing with due to NMG.
That's correct. And a little background history on both runners. ChristosOwen is 22nd place in NMG with a time of 1:27:08, and greenlinenshirt is also 111th place with a time of 1:37:03.
And both of those are truly excellent times. You get to that point, though, when you're below 130, it's just, kind of out of this world. Anything below 140 even is still spectacular. Both of these runners have an unbelievable amount of skill at this game. And it's going to be exciting to see how they utilize it.
And it looks like gloves are already found.
It's normally the slap in the face item, no pun intended, from the glove itself, usually being found somewhere after the Titan's mitt, but early on it's not a bad thing. That'll open up a couple of spots right away that most runners don't have access to until at least the 15-20 minute mark, such as the Death Mountain area.
Now it's interesting to see what they would do with the gloves, because they could change routing decisions.
They could. Standard route would have our runners head into Kakariko almost immediately, but with the glove, we'll see if anyone decides to head up to Death Mountain right away. Get that save point, as well as see what's inside a Spectacle Rock from the old man. You never know what he's holding these days. Always something a little bit different. He's a slippery little guy.
And chat might be catching on to this no texting going on, just drag Zelda along whenever you want. That's because in Randomizer, we've removed all the text from most NPCs.
Makes things a little bit more fluid, more sped up. You don't need to sit for a year after defeating Aghanim to listen to Sahasrara telepathically speak to you.
And looks like we're trying to get synced here.
We might be having some fun or not so fun internet issues. Who knows what's going on? GLS's timer about 30 seconds ahead at the moment. Not entirely sure what's going on. Not a real head start, but I mean, it's at least a pseudo advantage for GLS, but of course it's not real.
Both players are still heading to the mantle. That's what we're seeing here a little bit.
And I'm having an interesting thought here, actually. Someone in the chat had asked for a net Aghanim, and it's making me kind of wish that the bug net could be used to destroy the barrier, because that would allow for an interesting routing option. Just head straight there right away. Although,
that's true.
I do believe that there used to be the opportunity, whether it be to find the cape or a stronger sword. I don't know. You might have to help me out with this one here. Was there some sort of an issue taking Zelda up to Aghanim to kind of watch herself be destroyed? Was that removed? The possibility
I think they
of
just
it?
removed that possibility of it, so you can't take Zelda with you.
I feel like there was some issue relating to it, but I don't quite recall.
So they made it so that they can't have that happen. There's some kind of prevention so that if you go there, the barrier will not allow you to pass. It'll just automatically be locked.
Oh, that's right.
After you deliver Zelda to the sanctuary, then the barrier is able to be broken.
That's right. I had forgotten about that because I actually got the Master Sword in Link's house myself recently, and I was wondering, should I just head straight up to Aghanim? What would happen? But yeah, that's right. They locked the door. So getting to the most exciting part of the escape, this big rat room. Hoping to see something good in these back 3 chests. Usually it's been health or rupees, but in the first one we have the Moon Pearl, which,
Ooh.
you know what? I can't even play up the hype on that. That is one of the best items to find right away. You know that you'll be able to open up quite a bit as soon as you find 1 or 2 more key items.
That's true. And it's interesting to see where they go because they got the gloves quite early. We might see some route deviation, or they're going to stick to the standard route that most runners go, is checking out Lumberjack Cave and then go into Kakariko.
I think that's probably the safest bet, unless they were to somehow find a couple other items, such as the mirror, during the escape process, but that wasn't the case.
Huh. But looks like they're not short on safety items.
No. They will be pretty well off, I think. We get a really quick look at the map here from GLS.
Wow.
Hera has Crystal 2, Crystal 6 is in Eastern.
And I think Crystal 4 is in Desert Palace.
All of the even crystals are in the Light World, interestingly enough.
Now let's see where they do here. Nice tug on that tree to get more bombs.
Only the single bomb drops. We have seen numerous 8 bomb drops out of that tree. That's been fun. Christos going back to stock up on more bombs. He gets the 8 bombs.
8 bombs.
So he's well off.
Oh my goodness. We are going to see an Aghanim required race here.
Oh, this is fantastic. You know what would be real special too is if... You know what, actually I don't know where I was going to go. I was going to make a scenario for the boots to be somewhere that I guess would be illogical or impossible with the way the game is coded in order to even get that mirror. But I can bet that we're going to see our players hit Aghanim about as soon as possible. That mirror is something they want to pick up.
Yeah, it looks like GLS picked up the Cold Hard Cash here.
Not a bad thing, though. Early on, 500 for Zora, at least 100 for the Bottle Vendor, 100 here or there, elsewhere in the run. Not a bad thing to pick up those rupees early on. Finding 300 is great.
Oh, and it looks like Hearts is another randomized tug at the tree.
It is possible, as chat's pointing out, that if Swamp Palace is a pendant, the mirror may not be required. Of course, we don't have a clue what that is yet, but there are a couple of spots, item locations, that are only possible to get from use of the mirror that may have other required items. So Swamp Palace is not the only factor in this.
Mm-hmm. It looks like GLS is heading to Blind's house here.
What do you think, Hiei? Whether if you knew in advance that Swamp Palace was a pendant, would you still go and get the mirror?
Huh. Well, that's interesting. Well, there's other places that I want to check with the mirror, so I would still probably pick it up.
I think it'd be a safe bet, personally. Cane of Burna in bottom of the house here. Not much. What was in that chest? I haven't looked at the other
And
screen.
silver arrows have been found.
Excellent. Setting this up to be a fairly straightforward and easy seat in terms of offensives and defensives. Our equipment is starting to bolster up pretty nicely.
Is both players gonna check the well now?
Great use of the bomb drop by GLS. Christos, I'd imagine, will do the same thing. You place a bomb immediately as you fall, pick it up, throw it, and while it detonates, you can pick up that first chest every time. It's a pretty great strategy. Another 300 rupee
Ooh.
chest, so this seed is quite rich. We won't be seeing any farming for Zora, unless something goes tragically wrong, which I can't imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, spending 100 only to gain 20, but that's the way it goes.
And both players are definitely capable of fake flippering. We have no questions for that.
No, that is true. I expect that we'll see it, of course, unless we find the flippers fairly early on, but should we not, we will... I highly predict we'll see it.
And
Fairly
now
big race.
we're
Now go
looking
ahead
for
here.
something.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Now we're just going to see if they get a bottle here, or are they going to have to backtrack?
Looks like a little backtracking might be required, even if they find one at the end of the sign maze.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. Always interesting to see what's inside of this library. Ether.
Ooh. Ether.
Could be required, too. That'd be
Yes.
interesting.
Looks like GLS is going to take a sneak peek at what is that race.
Never a bad idea. Red Boomerang, he's not gonna get it.
Nah, of course
Save
not.
and quit out of there. It's not the most useless thing, but it's not quite something that people want to go out of their way for. So as they save and quit, I just want to point out this is a fairly big race among these two in Group C. With each racer already doing 2 of their races, this is their final one each.
Mm-hmm.
And Christos is up right now with 2 wins on his belt. GLS 1-1. Certainly a deciding thing. Anything could happen left in their bracket, but it's all going to come down to this race. Let's hope that our players' nerves aren't too excited right now. I know GLS is a little bit nervous about this. I think he's just got to stay calm, focus on his execution. He knows he's got the skill.
Oh, yes. And looks like Christos is going to open that chest first, so we got to see what that is. Oh, wow. Okay. We do have the spotting of the Master Sword, everybody.
Oh, I wonder how quickly it'll be before either of our racers goes to Aghanim.
Yes, that's true. With the Master Sword in hand, they can go that direction now.
We already have some calls from it in our lovely chat. GLS heading to the west first. He's going to check out the desert, see what might be up on that ledge, make a mental note, or just head straight to Agana's cave.
Mm-hmm. And looks like Christos is heading to the mini Moldorm, so we do have some routing deviation here now, guys.
I don't know, I'm always curious about the Agana cave, but I think Mini Maldor might have been a slightly better choice at this point, just for the chest count. But you never know. Yeah, only finding a piece of heart. Unfortunately, that didn't pay off.
Ooh.
That fighter shield, though, is going to be spectacular.
And that Titan's Mitt's gonna be really spectacular.
Oh, that's even more so. Interesting to see. Might Christos head straight to the Dark World? Maybe explore the Village of Outcasts just a bit before heading out to Aghanim. Of course, this is all prediction, speculation. We don't know what's going to happen. It's a lot of options, though, and that's pretty good for being less than 15 minutes in.
And it looks like Christos lining up for that fake flipper, and he gets it.
Beautifully. Just to remind everybody quickly of a couple of key items very early on, very easy to miss. The Moon Pearl was deep in Escape, and we had the mirror in the Lumberjack Cave.
Mm-hmm. And looks like Christos is going to swim over to Zora. We'll get a sneak peek at what is the ledge item here. Ooh.
That's rough.
Oh, yes.
You know you'll have to come back here, but... you know, I would have to laugh if Zora had the flippers.
Yes, yeah, that would be interesting. Now, looks like GLS is going to head over to maybe Death Mountain.
No, I think he's thinking the Village of Outcasts straight away.
Wow, this is interesting. Whoa, and look at what Zora gave.
No fungus among us for the Zora. We're gonna see what our first fetch quest item yields as soon as we heal up. Save and quitting, of course, never fully replenishing your health.
And we get to see what the pendant dungeons are. Thieves,
Ow.
Skull Woods,
And Swamp.
and Ice Palace. Wow. Oops, Thieves and Swamp and Ice Palace. Looks like we're gonna have to find that ice rod though, because Turtle Rock is required. And that's probably one of the harder items to find. Literally, it can be anywhere because ice rod is only required for Trinex.
Yeah, so it could come up very late in some very obscure places, far more than any other item.
Mm-hmm.
Although this does raise the possibility that the mirror may not actually be required. It's going to be interesting to see how our players decide when it's appropriate to go and grab it.
That is true.
Of course, we do still need the boots to access it in the first place. So personally, I may wait until the boots are found before heading to get the mirror.
I would agree.
And I didn't see what the old man gave. I was watching GLS head through Thieves Town briefly.
Well, the old man...
He must have given the boots, because I see
he
some
gave
spin
something
speed.
special.
Well, slight change of plans. If I were playing this, I would go and get the mirror right this moment. Only 10 arrows inside of Spectacle Rock.
Princess.
Saving and quitting straight out of there. No reason to grab those for now.
And indeed, what are those? An interesting choice. GLS immediately heads to Thieves Town because it's one of the easier dungeons bosses to beat. Blind's HP is only 9, it only takes 3 per hit, and it doesn't really matter what sword you use on him.
Talking to GLS a bit before this race, I know he was interested in hitting up the pendant dungeons if they were on his way. And it's not a bad choice, especially with these first 4 chests and Thieves being easily accessible. We've seen lots of key items be required that are within pendant dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad gamble. A lot of places in the Dark Overworld that he can hit, though. Let's see if he remembers to do that after clearing this place.
Now it's interesting to see what Christos is thinking next.
He's gonna head east, probably hit the witch's shop, and see what this mushroom's gonna become. Entering the Hellway within Thieves Town, GLS lines it up and just takes a slow, leisurely walk, getting hit once by Firebar.
Oh, dodging that anti-fairy.
Nicely dodging that anti-fairy. Well done. Not a room you want to take much damage in, because it's very easy to lose full hearts.
Let's see what this mushroom comes out to be.
Full heart container. I gotta say, I've never known that you could walk between the tree and the left side of the witch's house.
Yes, that's a really nice route to take.
Seems much easier than avoiding the buzz blob.
And this is good. GLS bombs that entrance. We already seen in a race today, someone forgot to do it and they had to track all the way back.
Oh no. One of the most unfortunate things you can forget in this game.
And looks like Christos may be following the same suit, or he's gonna go get... Oh, yeah, Village of Outcasts, here we go. And he finally gets to see what are the crystal dungeons.
Trying to take a look and see which one was number 5, but I didn't quite catch it.
I thought it was Turtle Rock, but chat can always correct me on that.
Oh, and we know chat will.
Yep, looks like chat said it. Turtle Rock is 5.
Yep. And Eastern Palace is 6. They knew exactly what we were going for. Trying to figure out which ones we need that fairy.
Now this is good. This fight should be pretty easy because you also have Kane or Birna to use if you get in trouble here.
True. Ooh. I didn't catch a look at GLS's menu. I'm hoping that he may be missing the map and or the compass at this point, though, because Christos just found the hammer.
Oh.
Checking the rest of Thieves Town, much more ideal. Thinking about taking the frog along with him. Can't do it right this moment.
Yes, he realized that you don't want to do that because you don't got that mirror. And then you can't do anything else with him until you save and quit because he won't let you do mini games when you have a follower with you.
Nope. One person per entry fee, it seems. Although I can't fault GLS for completing Thieves Town. He's going to kick himself in a moment finding this hammer. But having the green pendant may give him a slight edge unless we see Christos trek back and go through it himself.
And the digging game pays off with Bombos.
So we've seen Bombos. Did they get Ether? Or was that just seen somewhere?
We've seen it somewhere.
Okay. So at the very least, we know of the locations of two of the medallions. Should either of them be required for either Misery or Turtle Rock? Ether was in the library. Yes, that is quite correct. Seem to have forgotten that. I appreciate your feedback. Checking the Hype Cave northeast of Swamp Palace. Always been a good place. 4 basic items and the boots were there at another race recently. And the boots are hype enough. We already have them. Hopefully we get something good out of this. Unfortunately, only money and health. Not terrible.
Not the best type of hype you want, though.
No. Interesting, I'm noticing GLS heading straight back to check the Thieves Town big chest. When you're this close, it might not be a bad play.
Christos opting to save and quit. I'm wondering what he's thinking right now.
Starting from the Sanctuary. Wondering, GLS may need to opt to save and quit on his way out of the dungeon, unless trekking back seemed more appealing to him. Without that mirror yet. And of course, he's still missing the boots. He has yet to head up Death Mountain. Hoping that he doesn't forget for too much longer. Those boots will be important.
Oh, looks like he's making it to Sick Boy.
Haha. And he gives him his $20 copay, thinks Link's the doctor, and tells him to buzz off. Feel better, kid. We're gonna need you soon.
Now that was an interesting round decision because he knew Ether was in the library, so that's why he made that decision.
That's true.
And now he opts to save and quit.
Wanted to note quick too that back in the Thieves Town big chest, GLS found the Tempered Sword.
I'm pretty sure he was happy in finding that item, though.
Yeah, kind of a long way back. Only for that, I'm sure he was hoping for something a little bit different, but that's never a bad thing to have.
And he collects on Sahasrara.
Only 20 rupees for the green pendant. A little upsetting.
He tries to sword beat Sahasrara for it.
Yeah, he's letting him know his feelings too. His house is filled with red rupees. Wow. And another piece of heart just to open that last chest.
And looks like Christos is going to try to cash in on that mirror.
And starting back from his house, I presume he's going to make the trip up to Aghanim right this moment too. You know what? I'm not going to predict anything anymore. I'm terrible at it. Perhaps fake flippers then, or the Ice Rod Cave. We haven't seen Ice Rod yet.
That's true. And they didn't go to Hobo, because he just didn't.
No, you're right. I believe Christos checked the island and head straight up to the Zora. Wanted to make a note. It's interesting that with the location of Crystals 5 and 6, there's quite a few items that can't be in the Fat Fairy simply because of Turtle Rock. Neither of our rods, as well as the Cane of Samaria, and whichever medallion is required, I think they can take a bit of comfort not needing to check the Fat Fairy or not worry about that. Hopefully they consider it.
Mm-hmm. Now this is kind of a smart play for Christos, for once he does have that mirror, he has access to the east side of Death Mountain.
He does, having that hammer, you're absolutely right. And at the moment, it would seem that Christos might be a few steps ahead as a result of that. Although we could see GLS head to Aghanim's tower and head straight to the mountain, and you never know, they may be right on each other's heels.
That is
Still
very
too
true.
early to call anything, of course. But something I've seen happen all too many times. You get an item, and it changes up the routing that you normally go by. And gaining the Titan's Mitt, or even the Power Glove so early, checking up the mountain, is it something that you normally plan on doing within those first 10 minutes? It might have paid off. I'm hoping he didn't forget.
Mm-hmm. Looks like GLS is checking what that item is, and it looks like he's heading to the hobo direction, so we get to see what that item is now.
Of course, only having a single arrow on the Lake Hylia Island, you'd have to be feeling pretty, in a pretty interesting mood if you wanted to go and pick that up.
Now, I'm wondering if chat knows about Randomizer? How many blue balls will happen at Aghanim today?
Fantastic question. I think there's going to be 6.5. What do you think, EA?
I go for a cold even number here.
Alright, we're getting a lot of zeros. That's interesting. 12, that would be fantastic. 45 times 0. Oh, man. Having to do a little bit too much math right now. But we're going to see. He's dropping a bomb in Aghanim's castle. I can't really blame him for that. 2 of them, even.
And GLS looks like he's heading towards the old man, which he's going to be very happy to see this item.
Absolutely. And of course, still unable to get the mirror. Well, not unable, but hasn't gotten that, so he's unable to head further up the mountain.
And now we're going to see what this pyramid item is, for he hasn't checked it quite yet.
Flippers!
Ooh, flippers.
So right away he knows he can go and get the Book of Medora back on the Zora ledge. But he's not going to do that just yet. I presume he's going to go and check the Quakefish.
Yes,
See what's there.
that's a good choice.
When you're here, you know, you have the boots, you have the Titan's Mitt. It's not going to take too much time out of your way.
Yes. In addition, he already did Zora, so this is just a one-time deal. That's it.
Exactly. Perfect. Boom, dunzo. Of course, GLS seeing 10 arrows there immediately saves and quits the same way that we saw just a few minutes ago. Now knowing he has boots, knowing where the mirror is, hopefully remembering where the mirror is, I presume we're going to have him head straight up to Aghanim. Makes that turn
Looks
north,
like he's going.
and I finally get my first prediction right. Chat, feel great for me. Feels good, man.
And let's see what Quakefish has to offer here. Oh, nope, doesn't want that.
Interesting to note, even with the hammer, Christos having access to the mirror at this point, which I presume he'll grab now, not a whole lot that's open at this point. They're still kind of looking for those few items that are going to open up the entire world.
Oh, yes.
The Eastern Death Mountain should provide something quite beneficial, at least some sort of a fire source, maybe to go through the Tower of Hera, or knowing where the Book of Medora is. I would even place my bets on Desert Palace being a place that we visit very soon.
Now, since he's over here by the lumberjack tree and picking up this mirror, he could easily just go route to Death Mountain here, but looks like he's saving and quitting.
Well, he has the mountain warp point. That would be faster than heading through the cave, although I wonder what's on his mind at this moment.
Ah. Oh, he's just gonna take a look. at what the item was on Lake Alien Island? Oh,
Oh,
no.
that island has
No,
a name?
no, no. He's going straight for the book.
I didn't realize that island had an actual name. Yeah, good choice by him, I think, to grab the book so early after being able to.
Mm-hmm. He did remember. Trying to go the fastest route here to get to that book.
Yeah, dashing on that shallow water seems much more enjoyable. GLS saying bye to that blue guard, knocking him right off with the boomerang. Skipping the other one, he's about to visit Aghanim himself at the moment. How many blue balls for GLS's fight? I wonder. We saw 0 last time. That's pretty tough to beat. And we can't have negative, of course. I think chat's starting to catch on. 0 blue balls is a thing. Not having any pie with Aghanim, though. He's allergic to dough and cinnamon and delicious apples.
Looks like he's gonna check the ether tablet here.
Also a good choice. Too many useful items have been here. Unfortunately, only bombs after the tablet's turned into a pile of rubble. Not quite helpful.
And looks like we're gonna see our first crystal dungeon here.
Oh yeah. Might as well complete that while you're here. Not a bad call. And GLS senselessly increasing his bonk count. Perhaps intentionally trying to hit 99.
Now keep that in mind. He has been bonking a few times. Oh, with that, he can't do Hera any further because no fire source.
Ouch. That's almost a good thing, though, because that doesn't leave you wondering later on what's in that basement chest.
That's correct. They will have to come back 100% sure when they have a fire source.
GLS not even wasting his time checking the catfish. Of course, we know that's a good thing.
And
But
the
he does
last
not.
item?
Look like a heart container up on the floating island.
Oh yes, it was a
I'm
heart
gonna be
container.
Yes, indeed.
And this is a good move by Christos, so you can see what the item he needs in order to get into Turtle Rock, and
It
it happens
is
to be
ether.
ether. And he's gonna open it up right now.
You know what? That's a fantastic idea. I completely support that. You won't need to waste much time at all coming back later on.
Mm-hmm. Now, chat might be thinking, is Christos gonna do what Andy usually does in this cave?
Ooh.
Look, he was kind of showing you that he was gonna do it.
Wondering if he still might. I mean, this first chest being able to be accessed with the bonks. He's gonna turn right around and head out, probably for the best.
And this is a good routing choice, then, because he can check these 2 chests here really easily by just dashing up this cave here.
Finding the flute, beautiful.
Oh, and this turns out to be a very good investment.
I would say so. GLS likely to follow right in his footprints. Straight up that mountain, go to eastern portion. He realizes he has the items, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Saving and quitting. Taking those first few steps, remembering, wait, I can do this. And going to do it. Starting from the sanctuary, though.
Now with flute in hand, we're probably going to see him save and quit and head towards activating it pretty soon.
Well, he's still got all of these eastern chests to activate, or to open. Would be interesting if you could activate the chests, though, turn them into, like, mechanoids or something, and... Yeah, I don't know, have them move around as you try to open them. Make the trolley seeds even more trolley.
And he uses the mirror block trick here.
You know, at this point, I'm not really sure what to think. Not much option to head into dungeons at this point, because of missing a few items to get through any of them, really.
That's true.
Probably just the best bet to keep checking everywhere in the overworld. There's gotta be something turning up somewhere.
Mm-hmm. They definitely need that fire source to complete these dungeons. Desert needs it. Hera needs it.
It's gotta be somewhere. GLS taking a ballsy route right now, going to check the Spike Cave. Not a whole lot of health and not a whole lot of magic. It's gonna be cutting it close, but I think he'll be okay. Hitting that bonk, though. And he's out of magic. Takes 1 heart of damage. Finding the Cane of Samaria. Fantastic gamble to head there right away. Not a whole lot of health to turn back around, though, so he's got to save and quit out of there. That was one of those gambles that you desperately hope pays off, and it did for him. Could be some time before Christos heads back up there now.
And I think GLS is going to head towards Hera too, because he has that option. He hasn't checked out to see if it's blocking him off or not.
Yeah. Well, at that, he's going to be able to head to Eastern Death Mountain. I think it was a nice little gamble. To start with the Spike Cave, save and quit, and then head to the far east.
Yes, it was. Oh, nice. And we got to see what's required to go into Mire?
I didn't catch it. Which medallion was it?
It was Bombos, and he does have it.
Beautiful. I might be wrong, but I think that GLS has Bombos as well. I don't see it on the tracker, but I recall him blowing up that house in south of the village of Outcasts.
Okay, he knows he can't continue, so he's just gonna go out of this dungeon now.
He's still needing that fire source. Gotta make one more trip up here at least.
Mm-hmm.
How Bombus was at the digging game. My mistake. I appreciate the chat correction as always.
And Christos using the backwards way into desert. It's a good thing to do, because if he does find that fire source, he can just mirror and he can finish that dungeon this way.
Yeah, 2 more chests for him to check. Hoping that it turns up. I'd be kind of racking my brain right this moment if I checked these and did not find it. Of course, finding a heart piece isn't the best. I'm placing my money on either the map or the compass in this next one. Or the big key. Yeah, there's that too.
Now, with having Bow, Christos now has the option to go to Eastern Palace.
And I would fully assume he's acclimated to dark navigation, so theoretically he could take out the Palace of Darkness as well, using that mirror, make a 1-2 punch out of it.
Exactly. And I'm wondering that's what he's thinking right now in his routing.
Yeah, that may be a good first place to go. You know, you're at a point, almost 40 minutes in, you finally have something open up. You might as well go knock out 2 crystals as soon as possible.
Yep, and looks like Christos will also check Ajima's cave here.
Almost looked like GLS was inching toward that corner as if to set up the bomb jump. But not quite making it. Not sure, honestly, if he does know it or not, but that does save a little bit of time, although he's heading back into the Dark World, so perhaps not. That might not have been his plan all along.
And looks like that play that we thought of is what Christos is doing.
Not even worried about checking for the lamp.
Just going here.
No, I suspect once he winds up getting the Cane of Samaria, Misery Mire's not going to be much of a challenge for him either.
And he's gonna mirror here because he did not check Sahasrara's hut yet.
Oh, that's a great spot to mirror, right in front of the door, wow. I didn't know that was that close.
Oh, that guy's blocking him. Take care of that, GLS.
Heaven Sword Beams, beautiful. Only getting the one item there, unfortunately can't get the rest without the hookshot or hovers. Although those are some fairly large gaps to cover, I believe. Not too well versed on the mechanics of a hover myself. Certainly never tried it. Are you familiar with it? Do you do it?
I do it.
Well then let me ask you this, what don't you do?
Very little tricks that I don't really do.
Your technical insight on the game is pretty great. I've learned something from you almost every day that we've talked about it.
He says, what is the middle man on the tracker? That is actually Aghanim.
Although, yeah, someone in chat is pointing out, I do see the resemblance to Porky from the Mother series. And he's got quite an interesting sprite too. I've never been sure when I was growing up if that was supposed to be like his face with his green hair covering his eyes, or if that's like a crown, and his eyes being kind of covered by his cloak underneath. Is that something you ever pay attention to? What do you guys think? What do you think, chat? What does the Aghanim sprite actually look like? Where is his face? Does he have a face? I'll tell you, man, it keeps me up at night.
Now, interesting to see what GLS will think next. He does have the mirror here. He can check those two spots as well. The one below the Haunted Grove?
That's true, and he'll even be able to check the blacksmith. Interesting bomb jump by Christos. That was another one I never knew about. Aghanim is a penguin. He looks like a duck. So, some sort of a bird. Maybe receiving the highest number of votes. I suspect some foul play trying to figure this out later on. Let's make sure that we keep it easy.
Now, if I recall, I don't think GLS actually went to Zorid, has he yet?
No. No, we haven't seen him head there.
Aha, so that means he does not know that Book is on that ledge right now. But, as we know, it's not really required because he has a backwards way in.
Did you see what Christos just found? In the dark? He found a
very important item that chat keeps saying.
He may have found both, even. Well, was that dark area the hypest dark area ever? Because I only saw the fire rod. But it seems we're calling out hookshot. He does have the hookshot, indeed.
He found the two items that most people are looking for. And
Palace
it
of
was
Darkness
hookshot and fire rod.
More like the Palace of Righteous Items in this seed.
And it looks like he's going for the bomb jump.
Taking a bit to line that up, though. Although approaching it from the top might be a little bit different for him.
And he makes it. Oh my goodness,
Finds
this
the cape.
speed.
Unreal.
Pod, once again, playing a key part to this randomizer tourney.
Now, this shows my inexperience and lack of knowledge with Chris in general, although I know that he's a fantastic runner of this game. Which of those is the Chris Rage Rod, or is it both?
It's this Christos is the Chris Rage Rod. And
Right,
it's
is it the fire rod? The fire
It
rod?
is the fire rod.
Well, then
So
that is
Chris
fantastic.
Rage Rod has been found.
I'm sure he was happy, to say the least.
And there's the icon, the emote.
Yes. Thank you, Ruble.
Oh, interesting. Half magic was found under the hammer pegs.
Mm-hmm. Not too far from its native home. It must have not wanted to venture out too far. I fear GLS might be in a little bit of trouble, though, finding two amazing items in the dark. He's hesitant to do dark navigation, although he can. Could be some time before he goes there. He might want to find the lamp first. Can't say I blame him. He's gonna make his way down through the southern Dark World area, check a couple of places, into the Haunted Grove, into this ledge cave, presumably to the Hype Cave as well in northeast, of the Swamp Palace. And we've seen that Lantern Troll in quite a few seeds. Not the most friendly of items in this tournament so far. And on that note, I can't believe that we're already just about 2 full weeks into this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Been spectacular so far. Sincerely hope everybody's been enjoying it.
Now, hopefully that red cane will help GLS maintain himself in this race.
Yeah. It's not the most ideal spot to have to check. It could be some time before Chris gets back up there. Although with the fire source,
That is
it may not be
true.
as long. Being able to complete Hera, he may put 2 and 2 together and head straight there.
Oh, he finds the shovel.
Now I wonder if that's going to be anything of importance. Because I don't believe that Chris ever took the purple chest down there.
Nope, he did not. Because he didn't have Titans at the time.
Oh, that's right.
Oh!
You know, I didn't want to say anything, and chat's going to call me a liar and whatnot, and I'll deserve it. That's fine. As soon as GLS got the shovel, my first thought was, wouldn't it be funny if it dug up the ice rod?
And
None of
now
my
he
predictions have
is,
been right, though, so I couldn't have gone against that and made a claim. It suddenly wouldn't have been there. Huh. So now we have 2 locations Chris is going to have to retrace and get to.
Oh, yes.
Fortunately, he's got some time. I don't imagine he's going to head to Turtle Rock anytime soon. You guys are fantastic. All I see is positivity, even amongst all the liars. That being me, of course. Crystal from Pod. He's going to mirror straight back, head to Eastern, knock that one out.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of game left. Having 2 crystals up on his opponent, it's going to put him in a pretty decisive lead for the moment. It is true, though. They are taking grossly different routes. Either one could retrace the other's steps at any point and suddenly be right back to where they were.
And I believe GLS is also checking Catfish here?
Oh my. Yeah, it seems he's gonna do that. Mirroring afterward, he's gonna find the Book of Medora.
Oh, yes.
Things could play off pretty well for him in the near future.
Yes.
I could very easily see him Although he does have the flute. He could head straight to the desert area, knock that out, grab the bow, and in the long sequence of events, eventually head to Eastern Palace, where we just saw Chris pick up the lamp. That would make things far easier for both of them.
Now, it'll be interesting to see if he does the frontwards route into desert or he does the backwards route.
I suspect he'll take the backwards route. Those little face with a mouth statues, they just seem to take a little bit too long to move out of the way. I believe our only article of clothing in the tournament is now receiving the mushroom from the Zora, which I believe only had a piece of heart. Was it a heart container? Might have been a heart container. Book of Medora. There's certainly progress to be made. With us seeing it, watching it, knowing the route, knowing what's possible at this point, you know, you're always hoping for certain things to be done. But it's just, there's no getting in their minds. You have to hope that they're going to do it on their own. I don't know, man. What are you thinking here? What's the next move for GLS here?
Mushroom.
After the mushroom, of course. Spoke too soon.
And he does the same pathway there, see?
Man, does everybody know about that but me?
The 100% route, most people do that pathway.
Huh. Well, I'm not familiar with 100% route myself. And yeah, he's going straight to desert, heading into the dark void. And, well, I suppose it's a blue void. It's not exactly a dark color. And he's going to do the back door himself. Probably checking these other Meyer area chests in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
Great play.
He'll be happy he went here because he'll find his bow.
Assuming that he mirrors in the next little while, that is. He's gonna check that northeast location first, though. Or maybe not. It's changing his mind. It's one of the...
Oh, he does. He's trying to trick you.
It's working. Oh, no, but he's stuck right on the ledge. It's all part of the trick, I guess. Although Christo's picking up his second crystal, making quick work of these two dungeons. Curious to know where he might be headed to next. Probably back to the mountain. And indeed he is. You can finish off the rest of Hookshot Cave. And interesting to note that knowing where the ice rod is, of course having the items line up properly, most players, of course, never want to have to come up here after doing Turtle Rock. It's usually best to head straight to Ganon's Tower. Of course, he doesn't have the Cane of Samaria either. It may not be a bad sequence, though, in theory at least, to do Turtle Rock in this case right after the Tower of Hera.
Woohoo.
I think that may be one choice, one exception to the rule. Ah, yes, but there he goes now. About to grab that cane, the red cane.
Woohoo.
Although GLS still without a fire source, there's not much that he can do in the Desert Palace right now.
That's true.
That's gonna keep him behind for a while.
However, if he goes into pod, he will be quite lucky, because looks like Christos has the lamp.
Yeah, he found the lamp in the first chest of Eastern Palace. So, should he wind up mirroring, hoping to go through Eastern first?
Yes, and that's what I'm thinking. He's probably going to get, like, I can't do this one. Now I'm going to mirror it, because I have to do Eastern anyway.
Yeah, that could very well be, and then he'll go back and finish them both.
Exactly. And we all know where the ice rod is.
We do. I just have to wonder, since Chris didn't have the Titan's mitts early on, or I'm sorry, he didn't have the mirror. He did have the Titan's mitt, but without the mirror, he was unable to take his lumberjack frog friend home, his lumber frog, and subsequently wasn't able to get the purple chest right away. Hoping that he may not take too much longer to remember about that either. Maybe it's in his plans after Hera.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain sense of satisfaction to facing east against the wall, walking up and down with a pot on your head.
It looks like GLS is gonna do this too.
You know, Hiei,
Mm-hmm.
interesting point that someone in our chat is making right now. Fairly early on, there was discussion of the mirror not being needed if Swamp was a pendant. Swamp is indeed a pendant, but as someone in chat is pointing out, the mirror still was required in order to even get the ice rod. Consider that.
Well, that's true. But you still can get that purple chest just by having Titan's Mitt.
No, but you would need the mirror in order to take the lumberjack home properly, to make that even spawn, correct? Because I don't think that spawns until the lumberjack
You
is
are
home.
correct. It doesn't spawn.
Fascinating. See, there's always something different.
That's right, purple chest won't spawn, so mirror definitely is required.
And New Life not hesitating to call you out on how wrong you are either. Great friends. And DT is not in go mode. DT is not racing. DT's in commentary mode, my friends. Although, and Christos must realize that Ice Rod is all that he needs in order to be in go mode on that node.
Now it's interesting to see GLS has not switched to silver arrows.
They do create a bit of lag, although, as I've done myself, it is possible to simply forget that you have them. That makes a 16-arrow Armos fight very, very sad. It'd be quite the gamble to do Turtle Rock now, although at this point he's simply heading to the void. I don't
he's
know.
blocked.
Oh man,
Oh, a double blocked.
he can move down at least. It wasn't complete, but oh man,
Yeah. Oh,
rough.
good.
I presume he's just gonna check the hookshot cave. He's experienced enough to know that going into Turtle Rock without the ice rod, hoping it's there, isn't the best of the gambles.
And look, he is going to Hookshot Cave.
Fortunately, he won't find the ice rod there, although I am curious to see what might exist. Possibly our stick of cholesterol. Our buttery goodness sword. But not likely. No, just another fairy. Not bad to have, though. Certainly a good safety to keep in the back of your mind. It seems he's going to do another 1-2 punch on these dungeons.
You know, Mirror definitely had to have been required this scene because Mirror was the only way to get the flute.
That's true. Or... No. No, had they taken a different route... I like thinking about this. I like theorizing about other possibilities in this seed. They could have very easily gone to Eastern Palace early on, and GLS just finding the hookshot, of course. Before Aghanim, going to Eastern Palace would have yielded them the Lantern, and then after defeating Aghanim, they technically could have at least gone through Pod, getting the hookshot to allow access to Eastern Death Mountain without use of the mirror on the north end.
That is interesting as well.
That would, in this case, be the long way around.
Very long way around.
And yeah, we do have chat calling that GLS is kind of pseudo in go mode. Of course, he still would like to find that lamp. I presume he will at least search the Eastern Palace for it. But if he's confident... Go ahead.
Probably when he looks for Big Key, he'll end up finding it anyways.
I think so. Even with confidence in Dark Navigation for Misery Mire, that first room is so tough.
Now, despite all those crystals that Christos has in the lead, it's going to be interesting if he does check for that ice rod by going to get that purple chest soon.
You know, if it's a matter of go mode, get these dungeons done, GLS is pretty good at him. He knows his execution. There could be a bit of a comeback. Who knows? Despite it almost being 5 crystals to... Well, actually, GLS doesn't have any crystals at this point. I believe presently then it's 4-0 in terms of crystal count. It's all gonna come down to that ice rod. So I do see a question in chat, and the exclamation point randomizer command is helpful, but while we have a quick moment to just go through this dark area and Misery Mire, the rules for this are simply to get all 7 crystals and beat Ganon using minor glitches. Those are allowed. Not required, never required. In this randomizer, the location of all of the crystals and the pendants are shuffled among the 10 dungeons, and the game only technically requires you to have all 7. So after you do that, you can climb Ganon's tower, defeat Aghanim 2, even sometimes without seeing Aghanim 1, and then move straight on to Ganon himself.
Well, someone was asking in chat, was there anything good in Thieves Town? Well, apparently Tempered Sword was in Thieves Town.
Yes, Tempered Sword was in the Thieves Town big chest, which considerably makes the Ganon fight easier. It's interesting, the Master Sword being the Blade of Evil's Bane, and yet you have to resort to spin attacks in order to even damage greatest evil in Hyrule.
Oh.
GLS
Turtle
out
room.
of magic in the turtle room, that's no fun. I didn't happen to notice if he was trying to light the torches and just missed, or if he was just out of magic to begin with.
He ran out of magic. Oh? I think he heard the noise. Oh, I think he got it.
Yeah. I can't see anything, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he did.
We'll find out in a moment if we see anti-fairies flying around. I don't see the sword being centered in a room, so I presume he's still looking for something.
I think he's looking for the push block so he can go into the portal.
Yep, I just saw the block move. There we go. Because it becomes a sprite or a back... It becomes a sprite as it's moving, I believe.
Could use the hookshot there to find out where those turtles are.
Excellent, yeah.
And here we go again.
That's actually a genius little play there. Helmasaur King with 2 hearts, even with the red mail, is terrifying. All it takes is probably 1 or 2 hits then. 2 hits normally with the green mail. Although he's making super quick work of them. It's gonna take a little bit of damage here.
Oh, good
Only
dodge.
half a heart though, so that's not bad. And there we go, Helmasaur is done. And done, and done, and done some more. Keep on slicing his face right off.
Now he has his first crystal.
You know, he might kick himself a little bit finding the lantern so soon after this. That would almost be like a slap in the face for me if I was playing this seed. Knowing
Now,
that dark navigation... Go, yeah.
Keep in mind that GLS already searched all the way through Desert Palace, so
He did.
he could just make a quick way to beamline to that boss, and that's it.
That's true. Curious as to what he's heading back into Palace of Darkness for, though.
Did he forget the big key chest?
He may have. I presume we're going to see a bomb jump in just a moment.
Yeah, here it is. Yep, I'm thinking that's what he's going for. Oh.
Ah, no, taking a little bit too much time, though. Too much of that floor was falling away.
There you go. Let's see him pause buffer. Oh, okay. Looks like he's doing it.
That's an interesting way to buffer. I'm just a little bit too far each way. I think he needs one more pixel up. Maybe that's it? He's got it.
He's got it.
He's just going to mirror out after seeing his dungeon items. Knowing there's nothing else for him there. Yeah, this could be interesting. We may have quite the game of catch-up here.
Yes, because he's technically in go mode.
And especially once he finds this lantern. Interesting. I wonder if he's thinking far enough ahead that knowing he has all the items that he needs, it doesn't need to waste time in any other dungeons. I wonder what the odds are of him heading up to Hera right before Turtle Rock as crystals number 6 and 7. He's doing everything in as close a proximity as possible. I believe Skull Woods is the only one that's going to be out of the way for either of our runners. We see Christos making nice work of Vitreous, picking up his 5th crystal. Now, we don't have a clue where the Quake Medallion is, but it doesn't matter. Ether and Bombos are the only 2 that they need.
Now, this is going to be an interesting route choice for DLS because he could do a Misery Mire into Swamp. I mean, into, Desert Palace.
Yeah. I presume he's going to right after this. Yeah, like I said, he knows he's in go mode at this point. Christos, unfortunately, going to check every obscure location. He needs that Ice Rod. This very well could be Chris Rage Rod number 2. I wonder, is he gonna head into... He's gonna...
No, he has to check Hobo first.
Okay. Swamp Palace would be an odd location to check, but I presume he knows Skull Woods is still a viable option.
That is true. Geos has to find the big key first.
He has it.
Yep, and now he's going.
Skull Woods, quick as it is, even when you're searching for items, even faster in this case, for GLS at least. Skipping almost all, or we'll be able to skip almost all of it once he gets it.
And no, they didn't check the pedestal.
I don't presume either of them will. Of course, being in go mode, but even up to those last couple of items, there wasn't much of a reason to search it, based on what they were missing.
Now, it's going to be a very interesting routing decision for GLS, where he doesn't need to do anything in Skull Woods except just go straight to the boss and just grab one key.
Ooh. You know what? Not that I would wish anything bad on any runner. I really hope that this comes down to a Ganon on Ganon fight with GLS catching up. That would be quite exciting.
He's making up time here for once he beats this dungeon. Hopefully he finds that big key fast enough. It won't take him long to do Desert. And certainly Skullwoods wouldn't take him that long as well, because he just needs to go straight to that boss now.
Yeah, but I don't recall where the big key was in Misery Mire. Christos is going to be running out of locations to check, although he has pendant dungeons that he hasn't even touched yet, including the nearby Thieves' Town. You never know. That rod could be anywhere, and he's got to find it soon if he wants any shot of keeping this alive. Perhaps a bold statement. He still has a considerable lead on crystals, but I don't know. Go mode can change that pretty quickly in Randomizer. Not quite doing a fire rod dash to enter. Hoping we might have seen a little bit of swag with that. Skullwoods Part 2, though. No half magic. No guaranteed magic drops from the Gibdos, although there are 2 small magic jars underneath of the skull pots. Well, it looked like he just fired one the wrong way, but that might have been my own perception lying to me. Plenty of magic to get through, skipping the bunny beam entirely. Needing 1 small key out of this room. And we are about to see a bonk right into a spike.
Oh, someone's asking, what is go mode?
That's a fantastic question. What is go mode?
Well, go mode pretty much means you have all the items necessary to complete every dungeon. So therefore, all you need to do is complete the dungeon either by finding the big key, or just don't even need the big key and get to the bosses. Because there are some dungeons that you don't require a big key for.
Mm-hmm. Skullwoods and the Swamp Palace being the 2 of them. I think that's it. Pretty sure that's it.
And if you know how to do the Ice Palace bomb jump, then you don't need to do the Ice Palace one.
Very true. So we are not collecting $200. We are not, well, I guess we're not going to jail either, so there goes the Monopoly reference. Poor to begin with. Master Sword Moth is interesting. Also curious to see what is in the Master Sword. 10 shots per bow. Looks like that final bow upgrade is in the Master Sword pedestal today. Don't know what it was doing hanging out there. It's a quiet little place to catch some Z's, I guess. Some little forest friends. Some woodland critters, perhaps. He's heading back into the Dark World in the Village of Outcasts area. You know, if he goes through Thieves' Town, his next stop could very well be down to that frog. GLS is quickly running out of time to catch up here. Oh my. He may be heading straight there.
Yep, looks like it.
Although having the big key in its native location in Misery Mire, never fun. Very time-consuming to get there. All things considered, though, still really not that far behind.
Woohoo! Considering that they are in go mode, this should be pretty quick. As to the dungeon for Skull Woods, they all have to go just to the end and just fire rod and just have one key. So that should be a really quick dungeon. And the fact that he already did Desert Palace to the full extent that he can pretty much do, it's going to be a fast dungeon as well.
Right. Although he's gonna have to wait a little bit in the tile room in the Tower of Hera. But that may be his only slowdown. I would... You know, I might be a little bold with this. I'm gonna comfortably predict, though, GLS to have at least 5 crystals, possibly 6 by an hour and 30 minutes. At that point, of course, heading straight into Turtle Rock. Could be a very good time for both of our runners in the end of it.
That's true. And he has an interesting route option, though, because he could do Turtle Rock first, and then go over and finish off Hera, and then enter Ganon.
Oh, that's a fantastic point. I would think that might be worth the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Having a little bit of trouble playing Robin Hood. Great snipes for the most part on those arrows, but missing one of them. Only taking 2 silver arrows, of course, to knock out Vitreous's big eye.
And looks like
interesting.
he didn't pick up the purple chest with him.
He had it with him for a moment. I didn't see what happened. So, we're going to check the Babos tablet at least. We'll see what fun things are in there today. I'm going with the green rupee. Oh, we may have seen that. 20 rupees. Or heart container. Right color, wrong item. Well, never mind. Chad is correcting us yet again.
Oh, he did.
You know what? Little do they know, we're actually paying attention. We're just seeing if they can catch us where we make mistakes. We knew he had it. I suppose turning that purple chest in is pretty quick. Oh, GLS, you jumped off.
Now he has to do that again.
Alright, next stop for Christos is the Ice Rod. He's gonna make a beeline straight up to Ganon's Tower. Of course. There it is!
Yeah. And now we can say go mode for Christos. And Christos will probably say this in his Rage Rod voice. It was there!
Of all the places, there it was.
Many options here for DLS on this fight.
Silver arrows, of course, being one hit. Difficult to time with their lag and with land molas just being land molas. Fire Rod taking 2 hits each with half magic might be a safer bet all in all. He's going to switch to silver arrows, though. Missed the first one. Hits the third. He's at least 1 for 3. Pretty good odds.
Oh, one more. Oh.
Haha, almost.
And he should get this. There you go.
Nicely done, all in all. We have a couple of Ganon's Tower big chest predictions already, a little bit early. Make sure you write those down and remember it. Flute to Kakariko, knock out Skull Woods, Flute to the Mountain, get both of his last crystals.
Mm-hmm. Now this should be a very, very quick Skull Woods. Definitely a gold split for him if he does this.
Of course, Turtle Rock not necessarily being the quickest, even in Go mode. sometimes needing to go all the way out and check the big chest regardless of your key count at the time.
Oh, Chain Chop's giving a little trouble here?
A little bit. Thankful for the red armor, or mail, I suppose. I didn't notice. Did GLS pick up that key toward the end of that segment?
He does.
He does have a key. Good. So yeah, he knew exactly what to do. Right to breeze right through Skullwoods.
We had to look there, because that's where the big key was.
Wow. Not too common, I would think, to see it in its native location. Seems fairly common to use a key there just to gain a key, break even on it. Fairly quick moth kill. Pulling on that spike doesn't hurt you anymore once the moth is dead.
And now we shall see where he goes next.
He holds up his 5 crystals, still 10 minutes early from my prediction. Should he do Hera first, he will have 6 by the hour and 30 mark that I was so confident in. Although if he goes to Turtle Rock, I will be happy to dismiss my claim.
It looks like he's heading towards Turtle Rock direction.
You know, I have to say, that's probably the smarter of the moves since you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have necessarily considered it myself. So for a short period of time, we could have them both in the same dungeon.
That's correct.
You know, it seemed lopsided for some time with Christos having quite the crystal lead. But these runners are not far apart. Don't let that deceive you, should you have tuned in within the past 20 minutes or so. If you just happen to tune in, we have a 6 crystal and a 5 crystal race. Which,
Yes.
of course, by the numbers, is about as close as it gets.
And both racers are in go mode already. This would be interesting.
Yeah, some divergence in the routing choices led to Christos finding certain items a little bit faster, in a dark room no less. One of the easier ones to navigate, though. The only real danger is a couple of anti-fairies.
Now, funny thing is, though this is go mode in Turtle Rock, he still pretty much had to look everywhere.
Yeah, Turtle Rock can be difficult with that. He's checked 2 of these chests so far. And 3rd or 4th. That's going to be in the 4th.
Oh boy, that was all the chests in Turtle Rock. Now, interesting, because he has the Master Sword, I think he's going to opt to use some hammer strats on these heads.
We may see him switch for that. Certainly the hammer's going to do tempered damage.
Mm-hmm. That means only 5 hits with the hammer, but many more with the Master Sword. There you go. Oh. And here's the hammer strats.
Yeah, probably the right move. I don't have the damage calculator up offhand, but the Master Sword makes that fight considerably longer. It seems the hammer and the tempered sword take 5 hits on each of the heads, once frozen or thawed out, respectively. And the Master Sword is going to take a full 10 swings.
Yeah, twice as many. That was the right move to do. Now this is where we can ask chat. How many chests is it gonna take to find the big key in Ganon's tower?
That's true.
Put your guesses in now.
We got our 7th crystal from one of our runners, so it's only on our doorsteps at this point. And then, in a few minutes, we get to do it all again for GLS. Build that same hype up and see how many chests it's going to take him. Of course, it's going to be the same number, but guess a different number. Let somebody else win. Be a pal. My favorite answer out of all of these has to be the square root of -1. I don't know where that chest might be. Perhaps somewhere in Chris Houlihan's basement. It's a secret room you can only get by dividing by 0.
Oh, he's gonna definitely bonk it, so we're not gonna see Bob. Oh, and he finds the butter sword.
That's gonna be a big help. No spin attacks on this upcoming Ganon fight.
Alright, GLS resetting that room, knowing exactly what he has to do now.
Only 2 hearts. Gonna have to use some hookshot iframes to not take much more damage in this room.
There you go.
Well, to summarize what we've seen so far, that both runners are in their ending portions. This has been a great race. Both runners have displayed quite a bit of diligence in their routing. A couple of things paying off, a couple of things
does
not.
he have a fairy?
Oh no, let's hope so. He does, okay.
Oh, yes, he does.
Both of these times are going to be fairly quick. In terms of optimal routing, all in all, head-to-head competitiveness.
Now that drop actually helped him out. Now let's see if Bob's chest is the winner. Nope.
Of course, quick work of the Ice Armos. A little bit difficult to slide around there, controlled. Link doesn't have his own pair of ice skates. I hear he's not quite the hockey fan, which is a shame. Still not finding it. We're gonna have to head into the right side here.
It is a right side big key. One more here. Oh yes, he has enough magic for this. Half magic proving to be quite useful.
Certainly. He's doing well, though. Not taking out any of his enemies along the... Well, a couple of those jellies. That's the unfortunate part. When you wind up hitting them in the face instead of that switch.
Oh, it's gotta be this one. Oh, it is not. And guess what that means where the big key is?
I presume tile room.
Yes, it is. The big key is in the tile room.
I don't believe I've seen a tile room big key yet in Ganon's Tower. What's generally a better route? Is it faster to head straight through the right side and get those other 4 chests first, or stick out the tile room?
Getting the 4 chests is actually faster generally.
Okay. And speaking of tile rooms, we're gonna have an interdimensional high five here. One after the other.
Both players are in tile rooms together simultaneously.
Effectively in the same area of the world, too.
Now we're gonna have to ask both racers when they finish how they like that big key in that last tower.
Yeah, I don't know that I see GLS sticking to the right side first, even as a last-ditch effort. It would make it more interesting at this point, although I'm not quite sure that it would be enough of a time save. Especially if he keeps trying to light the torches that are already on fire. But you can never have a bonfire that's big enough. That's what I learned anyway, at one point. Of course, at this point, finishing the Tower of Hera is only going to take about another minute or so.
Mm-hmm. Oh, takes a slip. Now keep
Really
in
nice.
mind, quitting is not a really good option here, because in the tourney, if you do forfeit, you get a 6-hour time.
Yeah, that would not be advisable, even with a loss. And the reality is that even if one of our runners winds up finishing right around the hour and 40-minute mark, that's still a completely respectable time. There would be no reason to forfeit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Master Sword item has already been found, by the way.
Well, it was a 10 arrow upgrade, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is still respectable, because when your opponent is in Ganon's Tower as you're in Ganon's Tower, it's the good sign.
Yeah, it's a close race. Even 2 minutes apart can cover a lot of ground in this game. Some of these rooms are a mere, 10 to 20 seconds for some runners, and that can cover a lot of ground very fast. 2 minutes is not a huge spread. Interestingly, though, had this not taken Christos all the way to the tile room as his last chest, and we see GLS heading to the left right away.
Yeah.
It'd be just as time-consuming for him. I have my assumptions that this would have been one of the faster seeds in the tournament. Now, let me ask you here. I believe we had our tournament record for a completed seed just earlier today.
I believe so.
And that was a 123.33 by Mike the V.
Yes, Mike the V turned into Chuck Norris, as chat kept saying.
Now, would you have to guess how many seeds have been completed in under 90 minutes?
Ooh, that's a good question.
What do you guys think, chap? Out of all the races that we've had, how many have we had completed in under the hour-and-a-half mark? It's actually more than I had thought. I hadn't been keeping track of the scores too much. 5, 2, 3, nothing absurdly higher than that, aside from the obvious 10. But no, these are all pretty good ballpark answers. I'm coming up with 5 that were all completed sub 90 minutes. With second place being by Jet at 124.22. Fantastic.
There's been quite a few. There's also Keynesian. He had a 128.
Yep. 128.22. Geometry time with our favorite Aghanim 2.
And looks like Andy's telling us he had a 129.
Yeah, only those 5 is all that my research is yielding. Hoping to see some more at some point. Super exciting to see these completed so quickly.
And looks like Mike the V has 2 120.
Oh, somehow I missed that. I glanced right over that. Well then. Certainly a special thing.
Now chat looks like they're saying he didn't check the last chest, so that's not a validated run.
No, you know, that has been one of the unwritten rules so far in this tournament. That Maldorm 2 chest, if you don't check it, you're pretty disqualified. So we can award the win to GLS. Congratulations, GG, alright. Anyway. Christos making very quick.
Like he said they did get it, though. And they said it was bombs.
Oh.
And they're happy with that, then.
That's fine enough as the final thing in the game. We have our dot done. Official SRC race bot time of 1:37:30 for Christos.
Wow. An amazing time. Now let's see if he wants to join us for some commentary for interview. Oh, Christos declines. It's getting a little late for him, but make sure to follow the runners.
So GLS taking the other option and just doing this tile room straight away, finding the big key. Debating on booting out of that room, although a second earlier and that Wallmaster would have been able to grab him just fine. Ganon's Tower was the holdup in this seed. The big one, I would say, right at the end.
Oh, good question. You not necessarily have to go to the pendant dungeons at all to finish seeds.
No, and this was a case where I don't believe any of them had any required items. Although GLS completed Thieves Town anyway on a whim. When it's right there, it's not the worst idea to top in and just open those chests quickly, see what's around.
Now,
One other Go ahead. You first, man.
You're getting your guesses now for your bonks, because in the credits, we always have these bonks and stats guesses that we like to guess on.
That's true.
And I know, Theory, you've always been known to be making guesses right. So let's put in your guess here.
Keeping in mind that we got the boots fairly early in this seed. Could be a slightly higher bonk count. Of course, GLS accelerated his quite a bit during the first Aghanim fight. Be curious to see what he wound up with. Now let's see how he does throughout this gauntlet.
Oh,
Can
that
give
one
some-
ran away.
You never know which direction these things are going to move.
Yeah.
The conveyors are tricky. Beamos, of course, quite annoying enemies. But he made great work of the red horsehead broom. Is that what those things are actually called? I've got a completely... I'll be completely honest here. My knowledge of like official game enemy names and location names, nearly non-existent. I'd usually just call things as I see them.
Well, if you want to know the correct name for them, they are called Zazaks, as Evil Ash has put in chat for us.
I can honestly say in my 23 or 24 years of playing this game, I have never heard that.
And the funny thing is, even though it's a blue one or a red one, they're still the same name.
Huh. Well, I suppose that's kind of like a Shellos in the Sinnoh region of Pokemon.
Hmm. Now let's keep cheering for GLS. He's gonna get a really good, respectable time here still.
Yeah, so often these randomizer races come down to routing, and I can't even say so often. I'm going to say basically all of them do. Let's up that just a little bit. A couple of differences in the places that they went to fairly, not even too early on, right around the 35-40 minute mark. Of course, Christos delving into Eastern Palace of Darkness, I'm sorry, quite a bit before, was probably his saving grace.
And it looks like Trolldorm is getting him a bit of a trouble here.
Unreal. Doesn't he know that we're in a race? You would think that little snake would have a little bit more respect for it. Is he going to try to hover?
Oh, he might.
Oh, no.
He does
Not
try to hover,
quite.
but...
Hey, you know, it's worth a shot. It either works or it doesn't.
I think he's just gonna whack Moldorm here. He's probably gonna get him this. Yes, he does.
There we go.
And he knows the rules. He has opened the final chest.
Now, it may have to be put into the official rules for the next randomizer tournament. Whenever that may be. So a hook shot right away onto Aghanim, just to let him know, hey, we don't like you that much. Here's a hook right in your face. Nice double right off the bat.
Very nice. Oh, another one.
Things are lining up quite nicely for him here. Nice.
Wow.
Three
Three
cycle
doubles in a
Aghanim
row.
too. Nothing wrong with accelerating that bonk out either. The funny part's going to be when he still comes in under 30, which, let's be real, that's not going to be the case. He's done about 500 in each of his Aghanim fights.
There's no shortage of bonks here.
No. I am compelled to make a Puppet Pals joke, but I don't know. I have to assume most people have seen Dexter's Laboratory at some point, but GLS is full of more bonks than the Puppet Pals.
And looks like we see the bonk count for Christos, and that was 34.
That's a very respectable number.
And item menu time was 309.
Woohoo! Outstanding. GLS, on the other hand, dealing with 1 heart at the moment. I don't know how many more backups he has.
Oh, he gets it. And let's see, he gets his torch glitch. Oh, no.
No torch glitch.
Not
Silver.
worried
Oh,
about that.
Ganon right in the way of the second torch, too. That's no fun. Not quite getting that slash on him. He's got one. Not quite getting the double hit.
Oh, he's going to get one here, maybe.
Very nice. Intercepted him mid-teleport. Double hit. Seals the win. Or defeat on Ganon, I should say.
And we'll see his done time, and his official time is 1:46:25.
Certainly not a bad time. Not even 10 minutes behind his opponent. I shouldn't even say opponent. These guys are practically friends.
They're good friends.
This community is so tight with each other. They've been around for a while. Nothing but good vibes from both of them toward each other. And GLS is going to pop his way on in here. We're going to chat with him. And then there is another race coming up. It's scheduled to start at 9. Between Evil Ash and, I really hope I'm going to say this right, Fat Home. And it'll be right here on Speed Gaming, so don't go anywhere if you like more Randomizer.
Hello.
GLS, man.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Gotta say,
I cannot complain. I must have been in
Oh.
Ganon's Tower at the same time as him. I knew
Yes,
I was
you
gonna
were.
lose this, but holy crap, that must have been close.
you can't
It
complain
was.
whatsoever.
Yes, don't take anything back. That was a beautiful race between you and Christos.
I can't wait to watch the VOD. I'm super excited. What was the deal breaker? Was he looking for something in particular? Did he not go to Spike Cave for a while, or what happened?
No, that was one thing we were considering, but what held him up for a little bit longer was finding the ice rod.
Mhm.
Where did I find that?
Ice rod was dug up from the shovel,
Right,
Yeah.
the digging spot.
But the shovel was from the purple chest.
Did he ever go into Thieves Town?
No.
No.
See, I would have won if I didn't go into Thieves Town. But I had the Tempered Sword, and that could have sped me up quite a bit. I'm assuming he had Master until Gold Sword.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he had Master right until that spot in Ganon's Tower.
I'm not kidding. I was going to go right side. I thought, you know what? If we're both in it at the same time, I should just go right side. Did he go? He went left first, or no?
Yeah. He went all the
Where-
way around and, in fact, skipped the tile room on his first venture into the right side.
When I
electing
first
to go to the
walked
full
in
chest.
Ganon's Tower, do you remember where he was?
Not offhand. Somewhere in the upstairs portion, probably right around Landmolas or
Oh,
bit
he was already
beyond that.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
in fact, when you were in the tile room in the Tower of Hera, he was in the tile room of Ganon's Tower.
Okay. Oh wow, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, overall, I made a few mistakes. I should have gone in. If I would have went into Eastern before Palace of Darkness, I would have had the lamp already, which would have saved me some time.
But how would you know to do that?
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
Well, I mean,
So,
I could have mirrored before walking in. But,
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't, like you said, you can't fault yourself for anything at this point.
I
You
could have
did
checked the ledge. I
you
went
did
over
great.
there first, and I would have known that the bow was there quicker if I would have walked over. These are just little things that I'm thinking of in my head. It's so
Sure.
that way if somebody else is playing randomizer, they may say, "Oh, maybe yeah, that's a good thing to keep into rotation." You know.
Always alternatives to think of for the next time you play. That's for sure.
Yep. Funny
No.
enough, Swamp Palace wasn't required, so we didn't actually
No.
need hookshot, which is kind of
And
funny.
there was some speculation that because of Swamp being a pendant, the mirror may not have been required either. But of course, that turned out to not be the case. There were a couple of items that, like the ice rod specifically, that you did in fact need the mirror for at some point.
Yeah, it was quite the race. I'm pleasantly surprised with myself. Like I said, I went into it knowing I was going to lose, or at least I had a good feeling. But I figured I'd play my heart out, give you guys a good show, and hopefully it was entertaining.
You know what? Hearing that kind of confidence from you, that's going to make everyone satisfied enough as it is. You guys put on a great show, great race together. Now, I know earlier today too, you had practiced a little bit of Dark Rooms.
I did.
It definitely paid off in the
Yep.
Palace of Darkness.
Yep, the way that I did it is I did the bomb jump for the bottom chest, and it was pretty easy to get the top chest. But from going from top to bottom without leaving, I couldn't have done that.
Yeah, that's tough. But
That's hard.
specifically, you found the hook shot and the fire rod in that
I
same.
know, I couldn't believe it. I was like,
Outstanding,
holy
right?
mackerel. Yeah. And then I didn't like. I thought I had all 3 pendants, so I didn't check Misery Mire when I went there, and so for some reason I thought I had all 3 pendants, but I didn't. And then I was like, wait, am I in go mode? Am I not in go mode? I took a chance, and after leaving Eastern, I fluted over there, and luckily I was okay. But
Mhm.
I was a little bit nervous about that because I didn't check. So
Well, we knew effectively that you were in go mode as soon as you found the remaining items in the Palace of Darkness, simply because you were going to mirror sprayed out, and of course needing to find the big key in Eastern, you wound up finding, of course, the lamp.
right, yeah, it worked out really well. Yeah. I mean, I was gonna go to Meyer without the lamp if I had to. I was gonna
Okay.
chance it, but
Yeah.
you know,
Well, you definitely weren't afraid of taking risks. We did see you try to hover after Maldorn bodied you a couple of times there.
yeah, I know. I couldn't. Yeah, it was a good time. Fun stuff.
And you had one of the most interesting routing choices because you had where you can go from the dark world into the light world with a mirror for all 3 locations technically.
What do you mean?
Because you had Meyer, then you got to go to Desert,
Right?
you had
yeah.
Pod, and you got to go to Eastern.
Yeah.
You had Turtle Rock, which you then had to go to Hera.
Yeah, that worked out really well. I kind of kicked myself for not going up to the mountain a little bit sooner because I would have gotten, was it the boots or something was up
Yeah.
there?
Oh,
Yeah,
and had the boots.
I would have had the boots, and that would have saved me some time. But you know, you got to look at the retrospective. I told DT at the beginning before I started racing, the only way I was going to potentially win is if I made some risks, I guess you would say, or calculated gambles. And a couple of mine paid off. I think I would have been really great if I found something in Thieves Town, because I know that's been a troll for a lot of people, and it just didn't pay off this time.
Now,
And then, of course, I get the hammer right after I leave Thieves Town.
we called that out, by the way.
I usually pull the thing, go down and check that chest, and then go back in. But I said, nope. I told DT, if I'm in front of something, I'm going in it.
Yeah, and that you did. Perhaps remembering even something from your first race where the hammer was in Thieves Town.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, you can't rule anything out. I've learned that myself.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm happy. I got 1 win in the tournament. That was more than I was expecting. I really joined, like I said, just to entertain people and meet a ton of new people. So thank you guys so much for commentating, and thanks everybody in chat. And of course, all the people that are, that's my son thanking everyone too.
Oh.
But, you know, I
Even
appreciate
some.
it. Yeah. Cool. Do we got any other races coming up tonight?
We do have one at 9 p.m. I haven't seen any word of it starting early, although there is always that chance.
Yeah. You guys guessing how many bunks I'm going to have? I may have already gone past. I tried to throw in a couple.
I'm gonna say plus 70. You were farming them up pretty good in the Aghanim post.
You know, you're probably wondering why I missed one of the blue ball shots in Aghanim. I just recently started playing A Link to the Past with headphones, and it's a stereo game, and you can't hear the right side if you're not listening to both headphones. And so I can't hear the audio cue of the energy balls going off, and I didn't listen to both sides. So
Is it like you're using earbuds? You only have one in?
Well, I have 2. I like to hear other things going around.
Right,
make
of
sure my son's
course.
not getting into shenanigans.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's why I missed one.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Yeah. But cool, thanks again. I really appreciate it. Hopefully it was a good run. I'm really excited about watching the VOD.
It was. You know, I just want to say to GLS real quick before we get going that it took Christos a little while longer to find the ice rod. And because of that, you were in go mode and only a couple of minutes behind in terms of dungeon collection, or crystal count. You were able to breeze right through it.
Holy cow! Yeah, I'm really, like I said, I'm shocked that I went into Ganon's tower and he hadn't got done yet.
Yeah.
So
Be
the
proud of
only
yourself,
thing,
man.
the only thing I could
Fantastic
think
race.
of was he didn't go into Spike Cave, but I guess he did. Thank you, I appreciate that.
EA, anything else you'd like to add, my friend?
Well, congratulations on this race. It was a great one. Good luck on your next future race.
Oh, I'm all done. That's my last one. Unless I mean, I'm 1 and 2. I'm in one of those weird brackets that only have 4 people, so maybe there would be a tie, but we'll see. I'm not sure. But thank you, I appreciate it, and I'm sure I'll be racing just for funsies, and we may be having more tournaments going on at some point, so you never know. This isn't the last time you'll be hearing from me.
No, not at all. I don't know that they're quite setting up for the next race yet. But I'm going to sign on off of here. This has been DT, hanging out with you guys again. It looks like they are starting to get set up next, actually. Great chatting with you guys again. I hope you enjoyed the race. Hope you enjoyed our company. Along with EA, again, I'm DT. Great pleasure hanging out with you guys, and great race between Christos and GLS.
Yes, and we're just going to pass the baton on to our next fellow commentators, and see you next mission, everybody.